guys, welcome back to my art desk, and today I am working with the Paletteful Packs April 2023 box. Now I've already opened the box and actually I've already done the first prompt for the month, which was door, but I wanted to wait to give my opinion on the supplies in this box until after I did the first piece, because this is actually a medium that I have never worked with before. It is oil colors with the brand Williamsburg, which I've never heard of before. They are handmade and each pigment is treated differently. And they kind of preserve the way that oil colors were historically made. So if you look on the side of the tube here, if I can get in here, this is pigment yellow 3. This blue color includes 2 pigments, a pigment white 6 and pigment blue 15:3. This brown color is pigment yellow 42, so it's more of a yellow brown. And then this red is pigment red 112. And I was looking into you know, the history and properties of different pigments when I was really getting into watercolor, so I know a little bit about them, but I don't have them memorized. So I was just playing around with the colors here, and I really love the primaries. They're great. I am a big fan of using more of like a cerulean blue versus an ultramarine blue in my primary sets, because it just lends to a brighter, more modern color palette versus an ultramarine blue, which is a warmer blue. To me, it's just kind of a dull color to have in a set of 3 primary. I think it's great to have a warm versus a cool of each color. So the ideal, I feel like the ideal primary set is warm red, cool red, warm blue, cool blue, warm yellow, cool yellow. There's definitely more mixing options that way, but when I pick out a set of 3 primaries, this is the colors that I always go for, is colors like these. So I was really happy to see these primaries. The brown, I did not care to work with this brown. I'm going to continue to use it because I think it's important to use supplies that you struggle to work with, because you learn a whole lot. But I didn't like the texture of it, which is one of the things that this particular brand prides itself on, is, you know, the different textures. I'm going to bring this close to see if you can see. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. Oh, there's a hair on here. It is almost gritty. You can see the tiny little like specks, and no matter how much linseed oil I use, they don't really dissolve. So it's almost like, you know how brownie batter has like the bits of sugar in it that don't really go away? That's kind of what it feels like. I feel it's like I'm painting with brownie batter. And so you can tell here how it's a more of a yellow to brown. This is straight out of the tube. It looks like this. And it goes on relatively thin. I can't really paint thick with it unless I like leave it as a blob, but then it's never gonna cure or dry. Look at that, it's all over me now. I wasn't a fan of that. I would have much preferred to have a white. And I didn't know anything about water or about oil paint, so I thought maybe it's like watercolors and white's not really an option. Because when you work with watercolors, you use the white of the paper as your white. When you work with acrylic, you have the white acrylic. I thought maybe oil color was the same and you don't use a white, but that's not really what I found online. White's pretty common to use. So I would have much preferred to have a white, because with these colors I can mix a fairly dark color, not as deep as I would prefer. Like a dark purple would have been really nice. But I felt really limited not having a white. the closest thing I had was the permanent yellow white, but it is not very opaque. So to layer on top didn't work super well. To mix in, it wasn't strong enough to lighten the color. So I really struggled with regards on that. Like, I like the primary colors they have. I would have just really liked to have a white and maybe like a dark purple or something to really push the contrast. So those were the issues that I had with color mixing. But overall, I did really enjoy working with oil colors. They're a lot different in the fact that they take forever to dry. Like, I keep a hair dryer at my desk because watercolor and acrylic, while they do dry fast, sometimes is not fast enough for me. I want to move on to the next layer because I really like working, you know, I paint and then I let it dry and then I paint on top of that, and that's how I like to build dimension and depth in my paintings. Oil colors, I'm not that patient. So I actually worked on this painting one day and then it's still wet. Like, I'm doing this video, it hasn't dried yet. Let me pull it up here since it's already done. Gotta be careful not to smudge it. This is an 8x10 canvas. Did a box car with its door open and graffiti on it. So this is still wet, and I started this yesterday afternoon, and so that's so foreign to me because I'm usually like dry in minutes. So that made for some pretty interesting changes to my workflow. I was able to blend and smudge really easily, which I actually really enjoyed that. I wish I would just been able to, once I was done smudging, I wish I could just like dry it in an instant and move on. So that's a pro and a con for working with oil colors, I found. Definitely going to keep working with it because I did enjoy it. It's just kind of a learning curve to, you know, don't touch it once I've started working on it, because you can see I touch it a lot. So this is the piece that I'm going to be painting in the speed lapse today. I am trying a few things with my camera settings as far as making the workflow a little bit better. Post-production, when I'm editing, I'm really struggling with being able to edit smoothly. So I tried a different camera setting. I just went a little too far with the settings that I put in. So the speed lapse is like a minute long is all. It's super short, which I'm a little bit bummed about. But I'm still gonna play it. I hope you enjoy, and we'll get to that now.